we were chatting about self-worth. We got wrapped up in sort of identity and a few other things in that conversation. If someone is open to the idea of, I guess, expanding their definition or their equation of their self-worth, if they've realized in listening to this that, okay, maybe I judge my sense of self-worth and my happiness and my everything based on how well I'm doing at work, I now acknowledge that, okay, this is a risk and probably like an imbalanced way to
Yeah.
go about
Yeah.
it. What can we do? Like, what else can they think about? What can we...
I like to think about it as the eggs in baskets. Wait, well, eggs in baskets. I like to think about it as though you're putting eggs in baskets, right? Like if you put all your eggs in the work basket, what happens when that basket falls? You feel like your entire life is shattered, right? And that is, by the way, often what people do, right? Is like I put all my eggs in either like my relationship basket or all my eggs in like the physical fitness basket, right? So then when that isn't doing well, you feel like your whole life is awful, right? And I think it's a better way to do it is to see your worth and your value in many different aspects of life, and also to invest in your value and worth in those different aspects, right? So if I pay attention to my relationships and my physical health and what I do for work, then if one of them's not doing so well, like my relationship's like a little bit hard right now, it's okay because I still feel like other things are doing well. I still have energy from those that help me deal with the not so good aspect, right? So a few eggs in each basket.
Yeah, a few eggs in each basket. And I think in some ways it's kind of like risk management, right? It's kind of like hedging your bets, right? Because the ideal version of you is, it has like a shitload of money and really good relationships with your family and all that stuff. But if you're not there yet on the work thing, and you're just going to hammer out like working as much as you can and over indexing there, you're not just leaving a lot on the table, you're also risking losing the high quality relationships and the time with your parents and the time with your kids and the opportunity to be healthy versus later on in life having to have huge worries there, right? So I feel like maybe we can talk about what the sort of general areas are, right? So we do have work and we have your primary relationship. What else do we have that we might want to invest in?
Social relationships,
And
health.
that means like friends and fun and hobbies.
I wouldn't put hobbies on there, but
Okay.
yeah, friends.
Okay. Health.
Or relationships outside your primary relationship. And you might put in that category family as well, like extended family. Or you might separate the two. Then there's health, then financial wealth. Well, maybe health, it depends if you want to divide up the health part or you just leave it as health in general.
No, makes sense. And what about community, as in the impact you have on the world around you, and religion, spirituality, faith, that sort of thing?
Yeah, spirituality is one. But then, yeah, so then that could branch out from the health part as well, right? Meaning, spirituality, purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels like a lot, which I think is a good thing, right? It can be looked at like, even if one area of your life is not going so well, there's a lot of other stuff you can spend time investing in, and build real relationships in and real depth in that bring you joy in other ways, even if you got one thing on fire. I remember my father said to me in a really tough time that I was going through that part of adulthood is knowing that at most points in adulthood, there's going to be something that's on fire. And the trick is learning to find joy in life despite that. And it's essentially talking about this idea, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think one last way you can look at it from a slightly different angle is being comfortable with the multiple roles that you play in life, because you are a son, but you're also a husband, and you're also a father, and you're also a boss or an employee.
Mm,
You're also a friend,
mm,
and you're also part of a community, right?
mm.
So if that's another way to look at it,
Yeah.
is can I be flexible about the different roles I play in life and enjoy the different roles I play in life, feel worthy in each of the different roles, not only as an employee
Yeah.
or only as a
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah. I remember when your Singapore grandma was alive, it was when I was trying to build the last company. I would think to myself all the time about this. And I remember us chatting about sort of like this sort of thing, and we happened to be at dinner and your grandma was there, and I thought to myself, yeah, I've never thought in my whole life, how much money does she bring to the table? Like, even like never before has that thought crossed my mind. But the amount of joy and warmth that she brought to our little community there when we used to have dinners at your parents' old place was worth so much, you know. And there's her worth to the people around her was so far removed from this one weird aspect I was obsessed about, which is like, how much money are we making? It was a really good thought exercise for me to take, because it made me think, when bad things did happen to us financially, and our circle got reduced to sort of like basically just the people I could stand to be around, like my immediate family, your immediate family, and then our family, and then a handful of friends. That's really all we would see, right? And then I remember in that situation realizing that, well, these people don't care at all what I did for work. I mean, they did because they knew it made me happy and there was a positive impact to the world and all that. But when it disappeared, the people that loved me the most were like, oh, okay, let's just hang out.
Because
Let's just have fun. Like,
and the reason is because the worth that you brought to them was so far
Yep.
from financial,
Yep.
right? It was that you bring us joy or laughter, you bring us care, concern, you bring us interesting thoughts or perspective, right? Like, so that was your worth
Yep.
to us, and it had nothing to do with how much money you brought,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I think that perspective is helpful too, right? If you're struggling to figure out what to focus on, I mean, you can also talk to your friends and get a sense, or your family, and get a sense of what value you bring to the table as well. Then you can sort of recalibrate, right? Like, we tend to over-index and get obsessed about certain things.
And on that note, it can be really strange, the ones people obsess over. Like, some people, they rely so much on their value or worth as being humorous. Like, they're, oh, I'm the joker. So then they overly like index on being funny and entertaining. And I'm like, you don't need to be that. Like, people will still love you if you just don't want to be funny that day. You just want to talk about serious stuff.
There's probably even better, because there's more dimensions to you, to be the funny guy who can also go deep with someone, who can also do XYZ. Yeah, I think what people don't realize, especially with that funny / humorous thing, is it's a great tool. It signifies intelligence. It's a great way to make new friends and all that stuff. But it also gets really annoying if that's what you short circuit to every time a conversation gets serious, and you think it's a trick that you can keep using. But like everything else, human beings are quite intuitive, and we see what you're doing, and it's kind of it's rude, and it's kind of annoying.
He knows, I've talked to him about it before. Don't you use your humor and your redirection on me. I want to talk about you.